Yes? No? Maybe so?
Everyone is audible. We did it.
All right.
All right.
Way to go, you guys. So
Yes.
proud. We did it.
Addie, your mic is dangling.
Oh my gosh, I hate this thing.
But hey, now they can hear it as it dangles. All right. So we had no audio that whole time. Is that what I'm gathering?
Yeah.
But I think everyone could sort of infer what happened just based on the visuals.
Okay, so quick recap of what's happened so far.
Oh boy.
These three drifters, in reluctant service to the Dead Man's Gang, have arrived at the riverside town of Moorbank. They were told to ask for a man named Salvador Alston. During their journey there, Miguel Reyes, a member of the Dead Man's Gang, who's been kind of untrustworthy of them, got super mauled by a dangerous plant on Manifest known as a Jumpin' Yucky. And he got super mangled by that plant. He is upstairs in the Pearl Saloon recovering, and these three are in the Pearl Saloon proper, having asked around for Salvador Alston. Alston showed up, sat down next to Pax, and they had a standoff as to who could be the most curt and no nonsense. Salvador not trusting Pax until Pax gathered all of her friends, because Salvador claimed he did not want to have anyone added to the roster, and he didn't want to have to repeat himself. Once Kinsey and Roland showed up, Salvador said that he doesn't do business with people he doesn't know, that Miguel Reyes is going to have to vouch for these three. And if that happens, then he's able to sell Rufus what he wants, but it requires a special pickup. He's going to get everyone passage onto the MF Meriweather, which is a boat heading south down the river that will be stopping in town tomorrow morning. They'll board the Meriweather, travel down to a town called Wilburton, and then they will disembark, meet up with Alston's associates, and gather Rufus's supplies. That's what's happened so far. Alston seems very skeptical of this group. He's also a very large man, broad shoulders, full belly, strong enough to toss a drunkard with one hand, as he displayed earlier, getting rid of someone who Kinsey had befriended. Yeah, that's pretty much everything, I believe.
You left out the part where we've convinced him to trust us, and we're all great friends now.
Now, that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened by a long shot. Okay, so, picking up where we left off. Salvador will kind of slam the rest of his beer, set it down, and go, all right, well, take me to Miguel. I would love to see how beat up he got himself.
Well, sure. Right this way. And I will lead Salvador up to Mr. Reyes' room.
Okay. He will follow you. You open up the door to Miguel's room, and he is there, unconscious, on the bed. And Salvador will step in, like kind of eyeing you carefully as he does. And then he'll put a finger down towards Miguel's throat, press on his throat, sit there for a second, and then he'll just slap like Salvador a few times, just like smack, smack, smack. And smack Miguel, not Salvador. So Salvador will smack Miguel a few times. Miguel, what? No.
Well, that don't seem completely necessary, Mr. Alston, but...
I'll decide. And he kneels down and goes, Miguel, you with the land of the living? You understand what I'm saying? Damn, Sal. Yeah, I understand. What happened to you? Yucky, man. burst me off my horse. Nearly killed me. And how many people you traveling with? Three people. And their names? One's Pax.
Damn it, Miguel.
Kinsey. And that fella there, that's Roland. Salvador raises his eyebrows and looks over to you, Roland, and he goes, "You're sure this man's name is Roland?" Yeah. What are you talking about? I know his name. It ain't Martine. No, but he is a silly fella, puts on disguises and whatnot. Yeah, Rufus sent them. All right, Miguel. I'm going to put you on a boat tomorrow morning. I don't want to hear no fuss. Get you a nice cabin. Find some doctor that can look after you. And you and your 3 companions are going to come down to Wilburton with me, meet up with my folks, and we'll take care of Rufus's order. You understand what I'm saying, Miguel? Yeah. Get out. What did you say? Go, Sal. Come on, don't stand on ceremony. Dying here. You best not be dead in the morning. Otherwise, your friends aren't going to be able to go anywhere for Rufus, and they'll have to find another member of the gang to vouch for him. All right. Sure. No dying. Got it. Then Salvador goes, "Good man," and like slaps him on the shoulder, and Miguel like, "Oh, and like winces and like curls up in the sheets. And then Salvador steps out with you, Roland. He goes, "Roland, is it?"
Well, Nash has need of folks who can go to places his highly recognizable band of fellows can't. And so I, take some care in making sure I can go to places again after I visited them on behalf of Rufus, you see. It sort of behooves me to not give folks my real name and face when I do work for him. Otherwise, it makes it harder for me to continue to do work for him. You understand?
Tomorrow morning, real name, real face. I don't do business with characters.
Well, not to your knowledge, at least.
Boy, I have a feeling, just maybe, that mouth of yours gonna get you shot one day.
Well, who's to say, really? Who's to say? I'll see you in the morning, Sal. And I'll clap him on the shoulder and walk away.
Yep. And he goes walking the other way. Kinsey and Pax, I assume the two of you stayed down in the bar. You didn't say you were heading up with the rest of them?
Nope.
Okay. What were you two doing while that was happening?
Probably sitting in silence and drinking. Just judging from my dynamic thus far, yes.
All right. After some time of awkward silence at the bar, cheers coming from the corner every once in a while, like, yeah, oh! Another person gets like a finger like clipped off and like gets dragged out of the bar. And then heavy footfalls draw your attention to the stairs as Salvador comes down. And he goes, "Tomorrow morning, before sunrise, we meet outside on the docks."
And the docks are... which way?
Come on, man. You can't have missed them. They're literally half the town.
Got it. Those docks, yes, of course, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But they are half the town, so any specific dock or...
He like looks at Pax.
We'll be there.
Good. Evening, he says, tipping his hat at the two. And
All right. Pleasure to meet you. Have a nice evening. Sleep well.
Kinsey, may I have just tremendously improved at this whole life of crime thing in the last day or so.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, really putting more effort into it, I think.
I can tell. It shows.
Well,
All right. Do anything with the rest of your evening, or?
for getting up before sunrise, I might as well hit the hay now.
Yeah, sunrise is not too far from now.
Yeah, I think I will probably just head up. I'm not gonna drink this drink, but I will give it to the bartender.
He looks at it, looks at you, looks at Kinsey, takes the shot glass, dumps it in the sink.
He was right about the manners in this town. Hard to find.
All right. So, as the three of you sleep, nothing happens.
Well, that seems ridiculous. The world keeps going on just because I ain't awake, Tommy.
So, the night passes without event, and the three of you are able to wake up very early in the morning. How are you guys doing with this limited amount of sleep and probably some, at least for some of you, some booze in your stomach?
I'm fine. I didn't drink any.
Yeah, the bartender noticed.
I wouldn't say I'm at 100%, but maybe above 80%, somewhere in that range there.
I think I'm sort of converting the sleep deprivation into a kind of manic energy, which will continue to propel me forward until I inevitably crash.
All right. In the morning, the three of you are outside the Pearl Saloon. The docks do, in fact, take up basically half of this town, as it is all just one like small curved road. And it doesn't take you long to spot Salvador making his way towards the three of you with a kind of, especially compared to Salvador, small man. Maybe 50s or 60s, slight of frame, a little hunched over, graying like wispy hair, like 5 o'clock shadow, and he's like holding a doctor's bag. And Salvador steps up, looks at the three of you, and he goes, "Miguel, make it through the night?"
Did somebody check on Miguel? I forgot.
I certainly did, as I had to inform Miguel that, well, of course, I'd be using the voice he knew. There's really no reason to show Salvador my regular face, because he doesn't know what my regular face looks like. So I just sort of put on what he might believe is my regular face this morning. Because despite what Salvador said, our task is more important than his wishes. So.
And are you running this by Miguel in the morning? Yeah. So you said that to Miguel.
Well, first, is he alive?
He is alive.
Great. We don't have to go to Plan B.
You start explaining that to Miguel, and he goes, "No, Roland. Listen, partner. Salvador Alston, you don't want to dance around him or nothing. And he gives you an order, you follow it, all right? He's big guns. He's connected. All right? You're just going to have to show him your face. If he's cagey, which he is, he's going to need you to just shoot a little more straight than usual with him. All right, I'm not going to bat for you if you put on a gimmick and go and try and tell him that's what you look like. If he asks me, I'm telling him. And that gets all of us in hot water."
See, here's the thing, Miguel, is it's not really for his benefit so much as Rufus's, right? I'm only as effective as many places I can go and talk to people. The more places that know me as an agent of the Dead Man's Gang, the less useful I am, and the closer I am to dead here in this situation.
Go ahead and roll manipulate, and we'll put it at a -4.
Okay.
You are up against a 9.
He just sort of barely beats me. I don't get net hits over him, but not by much.
Okay.
Doesn't matter, but it feels important.
What did you get? What, an 8?
Yeah, I got an 8.
Okay. So he like listens to you all the way through, and he goes, "Roland, I do not feel up to this conversation. No disguises. Salvador says no disguises. You play by his tunes, all right? Listen, I'm not going to be able to do business with the man thoroughly.
You know what, Miguel? Don't save your strengths. For you, all right. Because we're such good friends.
I wouldn't say that.
I will do this for you out of respect for our friendship. And I leave before he can contradict.
Oh, man.
So yes, Miguel is alive.
You say, begrudgingly looking like you.
Whatever.
So Salvador snaps his fingers at the doctor and goes, "All right, go on up, drag him out."
Do you want a hand? You said this man is quite old and frail looking.
Yeah, he goes, "Oh no, I have a stretcher, thank you."
Okay.
Yeah, I'll wheel him out. I'll wheel him down. Well, and as he's walking away, he's like talking to himself. He's like, "Well, it's not really a wheel per se. It's anti-gravity tech, so it'll be a lot easier to
Oh,
do."
thank God, he's upstairs.
And Salvador produces a few parts, and he hands one to each of you, and he goes, "All right, this is a ticket for voyage down south to Wilburton. You get on that boat, you can be friends, you can not be friends, but all y'all better not cause any trouble on this trip. All right? So going out on a limb, due to my relationship with Rufus, trusting the three of y'all to conduct business cleanly and efficiently. You understand? I get so much as a whiff of any hijinks on this riverboat, we done. I'll leave. Next stop, Rufus won't get what he wants, and then you're going to have to answer to him."
I think we understand. We'll keep the jinx as low as possible.
Hijinks, shenanigans, all of it.
Understood.
Good. Then the doors to the saloon open up, and laying on like a hover stretcher is Miguel, and this doctor wheels him out and goes, "All right, he's beat to hell, but I should get him up and ready by the time you make it to Wilburton." And Salvador goes, "All right, that there's the MF Meriweather." He points to a large 200-foot long flat top riverboat with 4 decks. You can the top like open top deck is where there's like entertainment and like, you know, a dance floor. You can hear music already kind of playing there. It's, you know, not super rambunctious because it's really, really early in the morning, but, you know, there's like a little bit of music playing. And then the next deck below is a dinner hall that has a wide, like open concept, like balcony that's underneath the dance floor, and then below that is where all of the lodgings are, and then below that, at the main deck level, is an enclosed casino. It's a Victorian style boat with red flowery banisters, clean white walls. And you get all of this as you start walking your way towards it because there's someone on the dock who's just touting all of the all of the things, being like, travel in luxury. Don't get on one of these fishermen boats and arrive to your destination smelling like the sea. Jump on the MF Meriweather and try your hand at the games of chance and maybe get lucky up on the dance floor. You there, miss, you there, come on. Don't go down that fisher boat. I'll catch you a nice deal here, fine young lady like yourself, in attire such as that. You can make all the friends. Where are you going? And so Salvador leads you to the boat, unless you guys deviate in any way.
No reason to.
All right. He steps up onto the gangplank, hands his ticket over to a man in like a uniform who scans it and stamps it and hands it back to him, and says something to someone nearby who's got like a chest, who reaches in and like pulls some keys off of a hook, hands it to Salvador for his lodgings, and then the three of you are able to do that as well. They're like, "Welcome to the MF Meriweather. Hope you enjoy your trip. These are your keys. Your ticket includes one free night dining." And the dining car and the dining deck, and welcome. This is says your first time, so enjoy. Need anything? Just ask the crew.
Great. As soon as we get in, is Salvador like directing us anywhere, or is he trying to get away from us as quickly as possible?
He walks on like he doesn't know the three of you.
Great. Cool. I guess, we could have like a team meeting, and then if there's time, we could go to the casino, or, casino first, team meeting later, whatever.
I wouldn't mind nailing down a plan and being able to enjoy this ferry ride for the rest of the evening.
Excuse me, pardon me. The doctor says, like wheeling Miguel past you guys towards the towards the lodgings.
Feel better, Mr. Reyes. What do you say? Shall we find a secluded spot somewhere here on this ship?
Yeah. You get the notion that the Meriweather is only docked for a short time to pick up some extra passengers and also like load up some goods. But you do have there's a little bit of like a balcony along the main deck, but it's surprising there's not a lot of like exterior deck except for at the very top. It seems like they want you to have to spend time inside the casino or go all the way up to the dance floor. But you guys can kind of move towards like the engine area on that little like thin balcony outside, outside some doors leading to the casino, and have a chat because it's not like the most convenient doors to the casino, so there's not a lot of foot traffic there.
Great. Let's do that then.
Yep. No one stops you.
So, how's everyone feeling?
Not particularly safe, I suppose, but I don't see what option we have other than to actually follow through with this plan, to pick up the cargo and transport it.
Seems fine.
But are we trying to sabotage this in any way? I mean, I'm not... particularly keen on allowing Rufus Nash to kill as many people as he likes.
So, I'm just spitballing here. This is off the top of my head. What if we convince Miguel that Salvador's doctor is trying to kill him, and then we get Miguel to kill Salvador?
I think then we don't get the stuff.
Right. But then it's Miguel's call on why we didn't get the stuff.
And he is the one to explain it, and he is the trusted one, I suppose.
If you think you can pull that off, we can pull that off.
Like I said, it's just sort of off the top of my head. It just occurred to me as a thing maybe we could do on this riverboat. Yeah, I've never been on a riverboat without a scheme before.
And how many riverboats have you been on?
Oh, a dozen.
That's a dozen schemes? That's pretty impressive.
Well, you know.
Well, if you really want to attempt to, but purposefully not succeed at killing Miguel and make like the doctor is the fall guy, who's to say that the doctor doesn't become the collateral damage?
Right.
Innocent people. My only undoing.
You're right.
It's
I'll have to get to know the doctor and see if he is perhaps nefarious as well.
Okay, while you do that, I'm gonna explore, I think, because for the first time, we don't have to worry about anything here while we're here. If we just are here, it's just, we just get to be whoever we're pretending to be, I guess. We don't have to worry about the law. We don't have to worry about anything. Could just be here and maybe take a break.
I do think the less we do, the closer we are to becoming actual members of the Rufus Nash Dead Man's gang. Is that not true? I mean, just keeping our heads low, we basically are doing everything he wants for him.
Just exist on a riverboat without a scheme. Huh.
Listen, if you want to cook up a scheme, if you want to make it look like Sal is got it out for Miguel, then like I'll help you. But
okay.
Also,
How about this? I'm gonna sort of do some preliminary legwork, just get the lay of the land. You relax, enjoy the riverboat. If it seems like it's doable, I'll loop you in. If not, be on a riverboat without a scheme.
There you are, sirs, miss. And the doctor comes walking over to you. He's like,
Okay, this sort of seems like it's meant to be. Hi, yes, what's going on?
Hi, yes, Mr. Reyes. He instructed me to tell you to send a message. Here's his LRC tag. He needs you to send a message to a Cho Saxton to meet you in Wilburton with the truck.
Right, okay. Does the boat have an LRC tower?
No. You're gonna have, that's why I ran. You're gonna have to go back ashore and send that message.
Hold on. Is this doctor running a scheme on me?
Go ahead and roll manipulate.
Try and do a scheme on me on a riverboat. Okay, what's he got, Tommy?
A 1.
Great, I have 5 net hits.
Yeah, no, he is not running a scheme on you. He actually, you get the impression that, like, like looking at him in the way he's like kind of frazzled. You kind of like Sherlock Holmes, like you see like he's got like his like there's like wrinkles on his coat like this, like he was grabbed, and you kind of are like able to envision a scene where as Miguel wakes up and realizes he's on the boat, he like grabs the doctor and is like, "No, you need to send this message. Go find the people that got on this boat with me." And the doctor like was like, okay. I don't know, maybe he had a gun on him or something because he looks scared. And he's run back and he's like, you gotta go. You gotta go now. They're not gonna disembark yet. You have some time. You shouldn't take long to send a message.
Okay. I'll run and do it.
Okay. So he hands you Miguel's LRC tag. You're able to rush down, and as you do, the person on the gangplank goes, 15 minutes, sir.
Okay, great.
You run over to the LRC tower, slot in Miguel's tag, and you're able to go to like his like, you know, people he tends to contact. And you see Cho Saxton there.
And sort of like the other people he might contact and the messages he sends and what's in those messages.
Sure. If you want to peruse a little bit in the 15 minutes you have, go ahead and roll an observe.
Okay.
Or you could roll tech, I suppose, if that's.
That's so much better.
Yeah.
So that one failed. Okay. So that's 2 hits on technology.
Cool. So yeah, you're able to find Cho's. You also are able to find messages. It doesn't look like Miguel uses his LRC tag a lot, but you do see messages from like times when he was apart from the Dead Man's gang, relaying messages back. A lot of it is just like business. He also seems to have a sweetheart who lives up in Canterbury, which is in the northern garden. He's got a boyfriend there who you know, he seems to message every once in a while. It's not really anything super serious, but like every once in a while he's like gonna be in Canterbury.
Okay, so he's got a hookup in Canterbury.
But they message a little bit afterwards. They check in on each other from time to time. It's a little, you know, nothing too touchy feely, nothing like super sweet, but like a little sweet. Definitely by Miguel's standards. And as far as you're like perusing, you are able to get like just brief impressions of like his relationship with the other members of the gang. So obviously he is, from what you can tell, very loyal to Rufus. You know, Rufus seems to be able to count on Miguel to just like follow his instructions to the T. You get the impression that he's a little scared of Rosa. Him and Matthew the Madman Turner actually get along pretty well. What with the Madman liking to tinker and Miguel liking his guns a lot and modifying them a lot. Him and the Madman seem to have a more casual like conversation than a lot of other people. He doesn't have that many messages between Bo the bully Frederick, which you know, you suppose like there's not much to that you can glean because, you know, they don't send a lot of messages back and forth. If anything, it tells you that the bully doesn't have a lot of responsibility. He's there to be big and probably hit things because there's not a lot of like coordinating going through his LRC. And then he seems to have a decent amount of respect for Samuel Hofstetter. But he doesn't seem to have like a very personal relationship with him. And he and Cho are really, really close. They seem to be pretty good friends. It seems like they get sent to do things a lot together. It seems like they like do a lot of work together. And him and Sierra, there's again not a whole lot of messages between him and Sierra, but what messages there are do give you the sense that Sierra does get like responsibilities and tasks, but usually it's solo, and it's not. And like the few messages that you get between him and Sierra, it's like Sierra's a little like not standoffish, but like sends messages as if she is more used to operating alone than with someone.
Sure. I will relay Miguel's message. And then the opportunities really kind of presented itself. I'll just add a PS. This is Roland. On behalf of Miguel, something seems fishy with Salvador.
Nice. Okay. You send that message, and then you make it back to the boat in time as they're getting ready to disembark. You just right under the wire as they're about to like pull up the gangplank. You're like, oh, and then the guy recognizes you and is like, all right, come aboard, sir. And pulls up the gangplank.
Great.
During that 15 minutes, Pax and Kinsey, what were the two of you up to?
I think Kinsey was probably trying to scout out a good place to cast off a fishing line once we're underway.
Well, like I said, there is a small like balcony deck on the main deck outside the casino. That would be the best, because the next like available balcony is a couple decks up, right? So
Sure.
It's not super great to do that. So you would just be outside the casino on like kind of a thin balcony. You probably assume you'd want to be closer towards the engine because you'll be trailing your line.
Checks out.
Yeah, so that's you spot that pretty easily because there's not a lot of space for that you could cast a line from. What about you, Pex?
Going up to the top deck.
Sure.
Pax gonna dance finally? I've been waiting this whole time.
No.
So, go ahead.
Oh no. I'm going up to the top deck.
Okay. So you do have to walk through the casino. There's like kind of a central little like area that you have to like go deep into the casino to then make it up to the hallways that connect to the rooms, and you're able to pass through that into the dining car, which is currently closed. So it's mostly just like a glorified hallway. You can glance through though and see it's a very nice dining car. It's got it seems to not be ready for breakfast yet. But you see them kind of setting up, and it's pretty fancy. The interior of this boat is actually really nice. It's like antique brass type metal and polished dark brown wood floors and furniture. And the casino itself has a good smattering of tables with a few different games. You got like dice games and some card games, as well as one or two like mechanical games. And then the dining car has enough. You'd place, probably judging as you're making your way through, that this boat probably has about 50 to 70 crew members, including like the people who are just like service members, right? You got like dealers and people who are attending to the dining car and all that. So you'd say there's like 60 people on board who are there to serve the passengers. As you're walking through the lodgings, you'd say there could be equal to or double that in passengers. You make it up to the top floor, which again, the music that's playing is kind of dim. You see there is kind of an elevated area where musicians might play, but right now it's just there's like some cone-shaped speakers that are just like kind of like letting out some music, and there's not really anyone up there at the moment. Too early for people to be dancing, but you do see there is a bar also, and there is a bartender who glances up at you. He looks a little shocked, like he was like leaning, like reading a book, and then he like closes the book and stands up.
I'll just I'll like be like, oh, and just go up to the front of the boat and like lean on the balcony area and just like look around as it goes, like starts, maybe moving. And like, if anybody asks, it's definitely a lookout. I'm looking out.
Yeah, you hear the engine start to whir up, and they're like, disembarking, detach, anchor away. And then they start drifting, and they kind of pull away from the coastline and get into the center of the river. And between the engine and the current, they're able to start making their way down south. You do also notice there is one other person at that bar who is currently unconscious. There's a woman in like a long, dirty, not like dirty coat. Like it's a nice coat, but it's a little dirtied. Like maybe it got like dirtied up last night and then she fell asleep at the bar. Like there's like a spilled drink type, and maybe she got offshore at some point, a little way, like up the river, and got it like a little muddied. But she's like asleep, passed out on the bar, and the bartender's just kind of like cleaning around her.
Cool. I'm gonna let her sleep. She needs it.
Once you guys hit the water, Kinsey, you're able to cast a line if you want. Do you have a machinery cube?
I certainly do.
Oh wait, never mind. You have a survival kit, right?
I also have a survival kit. That's what I was hoping.
That's absolutely got a configuration for you to be able to fish with it. So you're able to like detach a part of your survival kit, extend it out into a pole with like put the line in and the hook and some bait, and cast a line. Roland, what do you do once you're back aboard?
Let's see. I suppose I'm gonna hit up my friends for cubes because my armor's still kind of broken and my gun is wrecked.
Okay.
I suppose I probably find Kinsey first, just based on altitude.
Yeah. You spot him like kind of setting up his fishing pole.
Hey, how are they biting? Is that a thing fish people say?
I understand the gist of it. Yes, that checks out. Yeah. So far, so nothing. Mostly here for thinking. I do my best thinking when I'm fishing.
Great, that's good to know. You wouldn't happen to have any cubes that I could have?
This isn't the first time you've asked me for cubes, Roland. You know this.
Yes, my memory is quite good.
Well, I'll tell you, I have one machinery cube, but my armor is not doing so well. I was planning on using it on mine.
Oh, okay. Listen, your armor's much more important than my armor in terms of keeping you alive in combat. I plan to be behind you in combat, so repairing your armor is really sort of like repairing my armor.
Not sure I like that very much, but what can you do? You can't shoot very well, so...
Well, no, not really. You mentioned that. Also, my gun's sort of wrecked from all the barf and ache.
You did not aim very well when you were puking, and all over your horse, all over your gun. It's a wonder you survived this long.
Well, I survived this long by not being in the wilderness.
Well, I'm more than willing to share my machinery cube with you, but, you've got to fix your gun, I've got to fix my armor, you've got to fix your armor, which should be useful. What can I do to help you, Roland? I'd like to help you.
Why don't you give me a hand? We'll patch up your armor.
Sure.
I'll see if I can leverage us saving Miguel's life into some of the cubes he no doubt has.
Oh, yeah, and I've got a spur to spare. Did you see me get that shot last night off of that sandwalker?
Yeah, that was really damn impressive.
Just speak the language of animals, I suppose. So yeah, I guess I'll help. Is Roland going to help me fix my armor?
I mean, if that's what we could do it the other way. It's really dealer's choice.
Why don't we fix up my armor, and then if you manage to get some cubes, I'll help you fix yours, eh?
Great. Yeah.
Right,
So
to kind of do this, you guys retire to the cabin where the three of you are staying. It's got 4 bunks. It's a little narrow, but it's still nice, right? It's like it's definitely like the lowest, like the cheapest cabin probably here.
Sure.
But it's got like it's a little clean. It's as spacious as it can be. It's got like bright colors to kind of open it up a little more. And there is like a little fold down desk that you can pull down and like lay your armor out and start working on it.
Right. And I pull out my arm and I say, hey, I forgot I actually worked on this a little bit. I've only got 3 points down on a scale of. You get the idea.
does your scale go to 9, or do you have the armor that goes to 10, or are you more of a 6 fellow?
I'm a 9er myself. I've got 6 out of 9. What's your armor looking like, friend?
My armor is a little bit more damaged than that, but I really think the gun is more pressing.
Let's take it as the gun.
Yes, it's filled with barf.
So to kind of clean up this gun and replace some of the like more damaged parts and get it back to a high quality firearm, it will take 3 machinery cubes.
You know what? Let's repair your armor. I think I might be able to leverage repairing this gun into getting closer with Miguel.
Well, if you've got the faith, I've got faith in you. That's
really kind of you to say, Kinsey. I'm going to take my barf gun to Miguel after this. Let's fix your armor.
Right.
Here, I'll give you a hand. You get +4 help.
Well, impressive.
Did you say you were only 3 points down? Yeah, you don't need to roll. It automatically heals 3 of your armor just by
Okay, but
it.
I help really good. So
You do.
And
You guys do a really
he helped
good
very
job.
well, and I did get 4 successes on my machinery roll, so I must have prepared the crap out of that.
Yeah, no, you guys. It doesn't take you guys very long at all. Like as if you've worked on it before. Like 2 cooks in a kitchen stepping around each other and like, and it's in this tight little area too. You're able to really quickly like patch everything up, and your armor is back a-okay.
Can I give you some style tips while we're at it here? You could replace this stitching with something, maybe some gold to sort of accent your whole look. You might. It's just a thought I had, while we're in here tinkering around.
Not that it doesn't look good, but I don't really give a rat's ass about what my armor does look like as long as it does the job. So use whatever stitching you like.
Sure, I'll just I have some thread, so.
And you upgrade the cover a little bit, and it fits nice. It's good, and you know what? Despite your I don't really care. You're like, well, it does look good. All right. Pax, you've been on the river for a little bit now. You still just kind of doing the Titanic, or?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
we're free here, so should enjoy it for a minute.
Sure. Yeah. So you it goes on for a little bit, about half an hour down the river. The woman wakes up at the bar. She sits up and she goes, "Bale, another one." And the bartender like lets out a sigh and goes, "Yes, Miss Kane," and fills up a drink for her, like a little like glass of whiskey. And she like leans back and like glances over and sees you. You see her see you, and she goes, "Hey, drink for my friend."
Okay.
Bill fills a whiskey for you as well, sets it down, and she goes, "Come over, have a drink with me."
I will go on over.
As you get close, she's a little stinky. You don't think she's showered in some time. You're not sure the last time she left the stool either. Um, and you sit down next to her, and she looks at you, or at least in your approximate area. She seems like a pretty physically fit woman. She's got kind of light brown hair, like in a very messy like French braid. That's like kind of like falling around her face at this point. And she reaches into her jacket and kind of like struggling with it to try and pay the bartender. She's like, "Just a second. Oh, damn pockets. Can't get here, friend."
I will reach in and take out I guess a spur probably.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll skullduggery for me, actually.
Okay.
I know you're not trying to pickpocket her. I don't know. Are you trying to pickpocket her?
I am not.
Okay.
This is too easy a mark.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll skullduggery. Let's see how deft your fingers are. Perhaps you learn something about what's in her pocket.
Gross.
God.
I got. Is this contested?
No.
Okay, I got 4 hits.
Okay. What if it was at a -2? Would it still be 4 hits?
It would be 3 hits.
Okay. Both of those work. So you reach in and you kind of you feel some spurs in there, as well as you imagine like there's like an LRC tag. You can kind of feel that. And you feel one thing that like you're able to kind of quickly identify with like a kind of a jolt in your like chest as you do. She's got a metal badge that's shaped like a star. And you would it's a star with a ring around it. So by reaching in her pocket and grabbing a spur, you're able to tell that this woman is a marshal. And you pull out a spur. you set it on the bar. Bartender takes it, and then she goes, thank you, guys. Coat has been suffocating me for the past 2 weeks, but keeps me dry. At least part of me is. Let's drink."
I'll pick up our things and clink glasses and.
She takes a drink. Well, you rolled pretty good on your skullduggery, so you can fake taking that drink.
Yeah.
She's not looking very hard. She takes a sip of it, sips of it, sets it down, and goes, "Donna Kane, pleasure to meet you."
Sure, we'll never need to disguise ourselves. That's a ridiculous thing that only muddies the waters, Sal.
Patience.
Patience. Well, it's a pretty name. She shakes her hand.
Nice to meet you, Miss King.
Oh, you don't have to be polite. No one's pleased to meet me. Not on this boat, she says, like pointedly at Bill, who kind of like just waves her off.
Can I help you just a little bit?
Well, you
I'm just
seem
gonna
to
just-
be at a disadvantage, so go right ahead. Fix as you will.
Okay, I'm just gonna like brush the hair out of her face and like kind of jostle her coat so it's not like all twisted in the back.
And as you do that, she's like, all right, hey, yeah, it's nice. How do I look?
Good.
Glad to hear it. Patience. That's a hard name to say sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm going to call you Patty.
Okay.
That's all right with you. I don't want to impose. It's just easier for my mouth.
I understand.
All right, Patty. Well, you don't have to sit here and finish your drink around the likes of me. I just wanted to share the wealth with a stranger here in the bright morning. What time is it?
Very early morning.
Well, then I've overstayed my welcome, haven't I, Bill? And he goes, no, Miss Kane, not at all. She goes, oh, he's a stickler, but he's a good fella. I would get you another spur here. And she manages to pull it out herself and sets it on the table and goes, that's for you, Bill. Letting me have some sleep here, not making me go down them stairs when I wasn't ready. Patty, patience. I hope to see you sometime around. Maybe a game of chance. Maybe some more drinks.
Maybe. Can I help you down the stairs now, or you got it?
Well, I ain't one to be so full of myself to say I couldn't use a hand, so I will gladly welcome your assistance, young miss.
Wonderful. And I will help her down the stairs to her room.
You do. Roland, you leave. Roland and Kinsey. I assume Kinsey's not staying in the room.
No.
The two of you leave the room. You kind of set out, and you see down the hall, just a few doors down, Pax with this woman. It's like she's really tall too, Pax. I don't know how tall you are, but she's like 6 feet tall.
She's taller than I am.
Yeah, so she's like this large woman, like weighing down Pax. Not like Pax is strong enough to do it. It's just kind of awkward based on the size difference. And Pax helps her into her room, and she sees you too. She goes, "No, never you mind, gentlemen, never you mind. Patience here's got me, and I'm gonna have a nice nap in my cabin."
Sleep well then. Enjoy it.
And you enjoy your day, good sir. Thank you, Patty. And she stands up a little straight, kind of leaning against the wall for a second. Then she pushes off. She goes, I got it from here. And then she opens the door and walks in and shuts the door.
I'm just going to point. I'm going to smile, and I'm going to point all the way up, and I'm just going to go right back to where I was.
Sure. I suppose bath gun can wait.
Won't be a very good fishing position, but I guess hopefully I'll have time to get that in later.
Yeah, so we'll follow you up to your perch.
As you guys get up, you see the bartender like wiping down that spot. He sees the three of you come up, and he's like a little surprised. This guy clearly is not used to this much like activity on the top deck. It's like he got like the equivalent of the graveyard shift, and there's a lot of stuff happening around. He's like, what do I do? I don't know. He like wants to read his book, it looks like, but then you guys like walk by, and he's like, okay, cool, and he grabs his book and like starts reading it again.
We have a problem. That woman is a marshal.
I can see how that would complicate things.
Hmm.
Do you suppose she's here for us, or?
I don't know, actually.
Just sort of seems unlikely that it's us.
Well,
specifically,
us.
So much as us, members of the,
right, in the capacity.
This club we're sort of in. I bet she's here for Salvador.
probably, I feel like this is like, not really, but like, it's like his
No,
boat.
I catch your meaning.
Yeah. I don't think that if the law was going to engage him anywhere, that it would be here.
But if she is here for him, then she's here to keep an eye on him. Not that, she's doing a particularly good job at it.
Well, looks can be deceiving.
You are the expert in that, aren't you, Roland?
Well,
Hey,
I would say other people might.
So I don't really. We should just steer clear, right? Stick to the cabins, not do schemes, or was that a scheme that you thought of?
No, you know what? No, it was not a whole scheme, all there, fully formed.
It wasn't?
No. But listen, if you would prefer that we do nothing and just lay low, I will just exist on a riverboat without a scheme. I can do that. I can manage.
I mean, I've been trying to get to my fishing for a good hour and a half now, so...
I'm so sorry. Did I just sort of came up and took you away from your sort of daily meditation? That's very inconsiderate of me.
It's fine. It was just something I was looking forward to, and I want to make sure that I have the time for it. Not so much that you interrupted me, just that, I want to be able to get to it at some point.
Sure. You know what? I will call off all sort of in-process schemes.
Well done and medium rare, I assume.
To say, and I will leave the two of you to a peaceful riverboat ride where we steer clear of any trouble that might happen.
Agreed?
You're not even trying. You're not. That's not.
No, I am. Listen, I know. Listen, I know that because you know me. It sounds like I'm being insincere, but that's just what my voice sounds like. You can see how I've sort of leveraged that into a career.
If you do a scheme, don't do it alone. But also just don't do a scheme.
I'm not going to do a scheme. No schemes. None.
Look, I understand that I'm not the best at reading subtext, but is there a scheme in process or not?
I am being 100% genuine. There are no schemes in process regarding the riverboat.
Okay.
Okay.
We're agreed.
Yes.
No schemes.
No schemes. Cross my heart. Hope to die.
Stick a needle in your eye?
What?
God, no. That's awful. Why would you say that, Kinsey? That's
the first time.
horrific. You know what? I have to leave after how horrifying that was.
All right,
Like, so did I go.
Roland, where do you head to? Also, all of you can have a grit for excellent roleplay.
I head to Miguel because I do want to try and leverage our friendship into a repaired gun.
Sure.
Which is not a scheme.
So you get to Miguel's room, which is just a couple doors down from your guys' room. You knock on the door, and there's like a clanking sound, and the door flies open, and that doctor kind of comes out. He looks a little more frazzled. He goes, "Hey, hi!" And Miguel's like, You know what? I don't need nothing. I'll be fine. And he's like, no, sir, I'll be with you in a second. Hi.
I was hoping to speak to the patient.
Well, if you can achieve it, then that makes one of us. So,
He and
go
I
ahead,
have a
have a
bond.
crack
Let me
at it,
take a
yeah.
crack.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can convince him that I'm not here to, like, that I know what I'm doing. I don't even know what he just doesn't like doctors, I think.
See, hold on. I need you to finish the sentence before that. You're not here to what?
I mean, nothing in particular. He just doesn't like every time I try to work, he's just like, I'll be fine. He's got that tough guy drifter,
Oh, okay.
thing
Okay.
that makes him think that he's invincible, but he's not. Whoa, get here.
All right. I think. What was your name? I didn't catch your name, Doc.
Oh.
Doc.
Lowry, Chester Lowry.
Chester. I'll see what I can do. Maybe you should get out of here, and I'll.
Well, I mean, I'm not going too far though. He's not in the best way, and if he's not careful, he might puncture a lung or something bad might happen to him. So make sure stays level, and if he's willing, drink this, and he hands you a tonic.
Okay. I'll
And
just take said tonic.
and you have him drink that, and then have me come back in, and maybe I can do some work on him.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
I'm going to go out for some fresh air, Mr. Reyes, and when I get back, we're going to talk about your health. I don't want to talk to you about nothing.
Okay.
And Chester leaves.
Great. So Miguel,
Roland, what?
my gun is fucked. It's full of barf.
His eyes open up a little bit. He goes, all right, well, let's have a look at it.
Great. I set it down on the table I assume is sort of over his lap. And
Yeah.
just you see here
Mhm.
where there's a lot of sort of dried vomit.
Yeah. Go in my pack over there. I got a machinery cube. I might be able to do something about this. Grab 2 or 3.
Great. I will grab 2 or 3. And I will I would like to appear. Listen, I'm not by any means a gun expert, but I know my way around a gun. I mean, the inner workings of it, not shooting it very well. I would like to appear somewhat less good at that, so he can feel like he's taught me something.
Okay. Yeah, that feels like a manipulate roll.
Right.
Go ahead and roll a -2 just because he might be able to sniff bullshit in this arena better than anywhere else.
But see, Tommy, he actually does know more about guns than me, I bet.
You are up against an 8.
Well, I've got a 9.
8. So that's 1 net success.
Yes, just the one.
Yeah, so you do a little bit. You're like you ask like questions that you might have an idea of what the answer is to, but you like let him like tell you, and you act like, oh, right, and
Oh.
and he's like, yeah, we're just gonna have to here. Look, this inner spring here is just, and he like tosses it off to the side. He goes, that the model they sold it to you with, they don't have here. We'll grab this, and he kind of rummages into his supplies and pulls out like a more compressed, like thick spring. He goes, this is gonna do you wonders as far as longevity. And he like closes that casing back up and goes back to cleaning. And yeah, he like kind of shows you around your gun a little bit more than he necessarily has to, as he manages to improve its quality from standard to high. It is now a high quality firearm. You can get that accuracy or that reliability. Yeah, that reliability back.
I think it was maybe both. I don't know. It's not important. It's the least useful thing I own. Yeah, and then if possible, my recollection is he hasn't fixed his gun yet because he got just sort of smashed by the flowers.
Yes. As far as you know, he hasn't fixed his gun yet.
Great. And so it seems like the component was sort of more high tech, maybe technology based and not machinery.
So, you're wrong.
Well, I do know less about guns than I do about technology.
But in general, so when a gun goes down in quality, you can use cubes from anything that goes into that gun, and that gun does have some tech-based modifications on it. So in upgrading it from standard quality to high quality, you could use some tech cubes.
Okay. Um, so I will sort of taking what I've learned from him, sort of try and like, okay, so that means if this part on your gun failed, then what it needs is it needs another brace and another like recoil dampener and sort of more things to deal with the tremendous inertia it has to overcome and the rotational force. And so if we did this and then that, we could repair your gun, right?
Yeah, go ahead and roll technology. We'll put it at a -2.
Oh no. I will spend 3 grit to go it strong.
Okay.
Because now that 11 explodes. Hey, and there's a 10. This feels like I could turn it into something, like a long-term friendship, maybe get him to kill his leader. I will spend 2 more grit to twist the knife and have three net hits.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so
Not a scheme.
you bring it around to like you're like, yeah, that's broken, but also I noticed these things on your gun, right? And you're like, I think maybe like some of like the wear and tear of your gun might be because these like technological processes are kind of like weighing down some of the mechanical things. Like let me look at the wiring. And so like he actually like he's a little protective at first, but like what you said kind of makes a little bit of sense. And he's like, all right, yeah, go ahead, it's wrapped up over there.
Yeah, let me be your hands as you recover, Miguel.
And he's like, it's just a mechanical piece. You're like, right, but if we go here, it's all one thing, right? And you're able to like kind of fix. He has his gun. You're able to get a pretty decent look at what it has. It's obviously rotating barrels, full auto. It also has a palm reader, which if you wanted in this moment, because you got 3 successes, you could, while fixing it, upload your palm print into the gun if you wanted to be able to fire this gun at some point.
I mean, if my palm ended up in there while I was fixing it, I needed a palm to test it. And obviously he can't get up and hold this heavy gun in his weakened state. So, of course, I, in his best interest, made myself able to fire this.
Nice. So you do that. You also can tell that he primarily uses incendiary rounds. As you rework you take the frame off of like the palm reader, you more efficiently wire it into the other mechanisms of the gun because it's specifically like has like kill switches that stop the gun from functioning if the palm reader doesn't like allow it. And because of that, you kind of make a tech angle at fixing his gun. Do you have any supplies? Do you have tech or machinery cubes?
No, absolutely not.
Well, lucky for you, Miguel does. So with 1 of his tech cubes and 2 of his remaining machinery cubes, there's only 1 machinery cube left in his pack, you can see. You're able to fix up his gun and make it high quality again. And over the course of that, he's like, well, I didn't think you knew your way around a firearm there, Roland. It was impressive. I appreciate the tips there on the palm reader. That's a new addition. Maddie put that one in, and well, I mean, I do like it. I like it that ain't no one gonna fire that thing but me. But
wait,
yeah.
So you're saying the last person to sort of tinker around in your gun before it failed was the madman.
Well, no. I mean, I've had the palm reader for some time now, but he was the one who put it in, and well, I don't know my way around that kind of stuff too well, so I just kind of trusted him on it. But looks like he may have done some shoddy work.
Maybe he just made a mistake. Maybe he just made a mistake, and he didn't think of the voltage overload implications of installing that kind of technology in something using this sort of materials. It just doesn't handle the amps. There's too much resistance here.
Yeah, right. Like I said.
I'm sure he just overlooked it.
You must have. I mean, Maddie and I, we go a ways back, and he helped me create this thing into what it is today. I mean, it's kind of both of our pet projects. And he'll get a kick out of the fact that I let you touch it. But, hey, right now I do appreciate having someone giving me a hand.
Yeah, happy to do it. For a friend, anything.
Well, here's the thing, Roland. I mean, you're a good guy, but right now, I mean, there's in the gang and not in the gang, and right now you're not in the gang yet, and I don't. I'll make a habit of not getting too familiar with anyone not in the gang in case Rufus changes his mind about them. Nothing personal, just letting you putting cards on the table there.
Well, I appreciate your forthrightness. Now, I'm just gonna take a look at this tonic that the doc handed me.
Sure.
Can I identify what it is?
Yeah, you may attempt to. You can roll first aid. We'll put it at a -3 because you don't have anything to like kind of. You're just eyeballing it, right? So it's
I mean, but my brain is looking at it, and I'm smart.
Which is good, but without a way to like test it in any way, right?
Interesting. No hits.
Okay, you're not sure.
I'm not really sure what this is. I'm just gonna set it here.
I don't want that. You can take it with you. That doctor's a hack. All doctors, they don't know nothing about nothing. They always are stay in bed for 2 more weeks. Don't lug that heavy of a weight on your back. And I've survived thus far by my own merits. I don't need some, weasel hovering over me telling me what is and isn't healthy. I know my own body better than he done.
Right. I mean, you're lifting with your legs, of course, right?
What?
Never mind. You get some rest, or don't.
Well, now that's the sensible thing. That's all it takes. Anything that happens to you, you just rub some dirt on it and sleep it off.
Okay, I'm gonna leave now. I think he might just accidentally kill himself. Not a scheme.
So while that was going on, Kinsey and Pax, Roland left you guys as he said he was not going to do any schemes. What are the two of you up to? As you've been on the boat for a little bit, now it's starting to get a little bit more active, right? Some people are starting to wake up. The top deck still doesn't seem like it gets a lot of action until like the late night. That there are a couple more people who do come to like have like a morning cocktail at that bar to look at the river and watch the garden go by before they go down into the dining car for what is now a very nice looking breakfast buffet.
What do I see on the breakfast buffet?
I mean, it's pretty extravagant. It's a full like L-shaped buffet, and they have a few different stations where they serve you from that buffet, so you don't have to grab the stuff yourself. There's various types of eggs and dried cured meat and good fruit. I mean, you're in the garden, so like there's like all of the different breakfast fruits of the garden. They have hodag milk. They got juice. They got coffee. Really anything you can imagine as far as breakfast buffet goes. Not the
Sure.
highest of luxury, but still pretty good, especially given the fact that you're on a river.
I'll just grab a cup of coffee with a splash of hodag milk in there, and perhaps a breakfast berry of some sort. I don't know what would be endemic to manifest, but just to pop a berry in my mouth, grab some coffee, and make sure go back to my not what did you say it was porch.
The little balcony.
The balcony. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, just go to my balcony and see if it's still available for my fishing expedition.
It it is. Yeah, you. Yep, you're able to kind of post up there. Nowhere for you to sit or anything, but you're able to like set your coffee on a banister and cast a line, and
nice trolling lure on there.
Yeah, it's a little harder now because the prime fishing hour has passed, right? It's a little bit more proper morning as opposed to early morning, so the fish are not as wont to bite. You can roll survival at a -4 though if you want.
Sure. At a -4. Yes, I really did miss the hour, didn't I?
Meanwhile, Pax, what are you up to? You are muted.
I casually walked down to our berth and shut the door and immediately started to freak out. And have been like pacing and sort of like, I could disguise myself. I could do a disguise. No, that won't work. She's seen me. So like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She's seen me. It's going to be, I need a map. I need to figure out where we're stopping next. Yes. No, because then Rufus will come for us. Okay. So I kill her? No, I can't do that. Can I do that? Maybe I just like toss her overboard. And then like, by the time people found her, she swam to shore and I just like keep on like, was pacing back and forth for a very long time.
Okay,
like,
cool.
I'm actively freaking out.
Okay. And what did you get on your survival test, Kinsey?
I got 2 hits.
Okay. You are able to get a couple bites, and you're able to reel in a couple fish. Nothing that you'd really keep to eat or anything like that. Just a couple little bites. You're like, oh, cool. You toss it back in. A little bit later, you get another fish, a little bit bigger, but still not good enough to eat. Sure. And you're able to toss it back in. And that's about it. At a certain point, you're thinking that's gonna get now. At this point in the day, but that does take you some time, and Pax's freakout does take some time. So, Roland, where do you move to next?
I mean, I'm not gonna walk around this ship with my gun. I'm a man of class and character, so I've got to set it back in the room.
Cool. You open up the door, and you don't have to roll to tell that Pax is on edge.
Did you just throw a knife at me?
No. It is in the door frame. I don't miss.
She says, pulling the knife out by your head.
What?
I was just gonna set my gun down.
Yeah. Yeah. Good idea. Go ahead.
Okay.
Cool.
Would you like to be alone? Okay, I'm just gonna close the door behind me and we can have a conversation, I guess. Listen, I feel like I have somewhat of a sense of you as a person, but if I really think how long I've known you, it is in fact 11 days. So, what's happening?
Nothing.
Okay, you're a bad liar.
Yes. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, Roland, that is the problem. Okay, she's gonna figure us out, and then they're gonna we're heading on a boat toward a long, and then we're gonna get arrested, and then I'm gonna get hung. They don't like let me go again. That's not
Hold
what
on.
happens.
Hold on. Okay? Nobody's getting hung. The proper usage is hanged.
Oh, jeez.
It is the past participle or some craziness.
No, it's a really
Yes,
weird turn
I
of
learned
phrase.
that in
Hanged is correct in the instance of execution. So here's the
No.
thing.
That's not the point.
No, but I've got you sort of off your freak out track now for a moment, and I think maybe we can converse. Why would anyone be looking for us closer to Alonstead? The last they've heard, we broke out of a prison transport. Why would we go back to Alonstead? That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Think about it. She's already seen your face, and sure, she seemed extremely drunk. But,
yeah.
you know, I've been pretty drunk here and there, and, like, I recognize the face of a person I've seen and maybe am hunting. I've never hunted a person like a lawman would, but I think I would remember.
But there's like crumbs. And what if she's seen a poster and our faces on them?
Do you want me to fix you up with a disguise?
No.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stay in here until
You seem so excited about just sort of existing on a riverboat.
Yeah, but I can't do that now. There's a marshal down the hallway.
When we were in camp with the Dead Man's gang, there was a marshal just sort of 12 feet away.
Yeah, but I think the situation's a little bit different, Roland.
Right, we were surrounded by murderers then.
Yeah, and they're fine. I can handle murderers.
You are truly an enigma. Okay, you've seen what I can do to make myself look like someone else, right?
Yes.
It seems like you could maybe use some time just sort of enjoying this riverboat cruise. I'm going to fix you up with a disguise now.
But what if Sal sees?
Then I'll take the fall on it.
How? It's my face. It's my not face. It's not my face.
Then it'll be very hard for him to recognize you.
Okay, fine. Just to make you feel better.
Sure. I feel better about this. No, I need to put your hair up to just have a canvas to work with.
Don't do that. Oh.
Just sit still. Hold on. Let me work. I will make Pax a disguise.
All right. You may roll blend.
Do you want to help?
Yeah.
You should have input. It's important to have input on your disguise so you can remember the details of the life you now have lived as this person you're becoming.
Three hits.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm very good at blend.
I didn't know you had that many dice.
I don't. I only have 2.
Ah. And see, together, we've made a 5-hit disguise for you.
Wow.
Cool. That will give a -5 to anyone who opposes your blend to try not to be recognized.
Okay, well, so I think you're giving off a vibe of maybe like a Rachel or a Triss. I don't know. You pick something that feels sort of organic to this person you are now. And this person you are now can enjoy this cruise.
Okay.
Go dance or whatever. Have fun.
Oh, I'm never going back up to the top floor.
I mean, you know for sure she's not there now.
Okay, well maybe then that's a good point. I'll just get breakfast, right? Is it included? Did you get that? Is it free or is it
Yeah,
like...
we do have a day of meals, I believe.
Okay. I'm gonna just go eat.
Mm-hmm.
Good, not wild food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You could come if you wanted, but you don't have to. Also, your gun is not covered in vomit, so that's good.
I thought so.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Let's get
You're
breakfast.
in the way. You have to. Okay.
All right, so the two of you go to the dining car. Dining. It's not a car. It's not a train. Dining.
That's an impressive boat now. That's a boat you can do a scheme on.
You both make your way to the dining deck.
Yes.
Cool. There's a nice buffet, and you are correct. Your tickets can be basically stamped to indicate that today is the day that you eat for free.
I mean, you know, we can eat for free every day. It's just going to take some more work. That's not a scheme, by the way.
It's a scheme, but I'm okay
No,
with
listen,
that.
I can explain to you the whole hierarchy of what is
I
and
don't
is
want.
a scheme.
It is a scheme, but it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And you get to like fill up a plate full of breakfast. Do you guys like sit together? Do you separate? What do you do? You're able to fill up your trays for sure.
It's really up to you, Pax.
I'm gonna sit here. You can do what you want. But I mean, there is a seat here, so
Okay, I'm going to sit here.
I mean that's cool.
Sure.
Nice.
So, what's your name?
Was Rachel one of the ones you said?
Is
That one.
Okay, it's nice to meet you, Rachel.
You guys have awkward breakfast together.
I don't know what's happened.
Kinsey, you're finished up fishing at this point.
Yeah, at some point while they're having dejectedly wanders in and starts loading up a plate, and he asks one of the people working there, "Excuse me, do you have any kippers by chance?"
Kippers.
Yeah, kippers. You know, filleted fish, pan fried over wood smoked fire.
They might have it down at that station, sir.
Oh, good, excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Oh, Kinsey. Kinsey,
Look.
come meet my friend here, who I've met on this boat for the first time.
Oh, hello. I'm Kinsey McCharlotte, and I'll extend my hand.
Yeah, Kinsey, you can roll an observe test at a -5.
I do not need to roll an observe test. I have no idea who this person is.
Kinsey, Rachel, Kinsey.
Rachel, very pleased to meet you, I say, with my hand still extended.
I'll shake it.
Oh, strong grip you have there.
Sit down.
Thank you very much, I shall. And so, Rachel, you met my friend Roland here on the ship. What brings you to Canterburg? Not Canterburg. We're going to a different berg. What's the berg we're going to?
There's a few stops on the way, but you did just disembark from Moorbrook.
Moorbrook, but we're going to
Wilburton.
Yes, Wilburton. Wilburton. Berg. You know, all these towns sound the same. Not much of a townie myself.
What do you do?
Oh, thank you for asking. I'm a freelance trapper myself.
Oh.
Yes, you know, here, there. I've had a hiccup here or two, and, you know, on one of those hiccups, I met young Roland here, and, well, it's been a rocky journey, hasn't it, friend?
Yes, you know, you can't even imagine what we've gone through together.
It's true.
Simply unfathomable, the things Kinsey and I have done together. You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
But, along the way we've forged a friendship, I suppose. It's been the three of us. Actually, where is Pax? Have you seen her?
No.
She didn't seem too happy last time we left her.
Oh, Pax. I'm sure she'll take care of herself.
Yes, she always does. Quite capable, that one. A little bit off-putting, though, don't you think?
I haven't found that, no.
Well, she just doesn't seem to talk as much as one would expect, in a conversation. Not saying there's anything wrong with her, but, just difficult to converse with.
I don't know, I don't really have any trouble.
No trouble, really. It's quite apparent to me. As though she didn't grow up around people or something.
Sort of an extreme conclusion to jump to, don't you think, Kinsey?
Perhaps. Well, she's a nice one to know anyway. Got nothing against her. Just like I said, off-putting.
Just sitting there, Pax.
Gnawing at a kipper.
Yeah.
I don't even have to make you guys shoot the shit. You just make it bad blood wherever you go.
So, tell me, Kinsey, Mr. McCharlotte.
Oh, well.
Mr. McCharlotte's his father. Call him Kinsey.
What is that you trap?
Oh, anything. Back when I was a company man, it was snolligasters for boots for a somewhat dodgily run company called Fetson and Fetson.
And then?
Oh, and then I became a freelancer and happened upon the odd Lucrota and Borakin. Really anything the migration patterns would have me happen upon.
And then?
Well, then I got wrapped up in a small group of people. I care about the well-being of animals, but I mostly am upset at seeing them used in a way or put in an environment that is not enjoyable for them. So it's not so much about the animals themselves, but I got wrapped up with a group that was about the wellness of animals, and there were on a plot to free some jackalopes, on the way to be trained for racing, and I just abhor jackalope racing personally. So I joined up with them and helped them release it. Didn't do a very good job, and well, I was cat. I'm being awfully candid with you about my criminal activity. You've just got that kind of face that you can talk to, don't you?
Faces.
Kinsey,
One of those
you never
faces.
told me you were a criminal?
No, just what I was referring. I see you, young lad. No, yes, so it was a whole thing, and now I'm here on the journey with my good friend Roland and our friend Pax, who you've yet to meet.
Off-putting.
Off-putting, that's the one. Yeah, it's a good memory.
I won't forget that.
And yourself, Miss Rachel.
I'm going to meet someone. They've got a gift for me.
And they're making you come and fetch it.
Yes.
Oh, and what do you suppose that gift is?
I have literally no idea.
Well, I hope it's worth the trip. Did they at least buy you passage upon this ship here?
They did.
Oh, very kind.
Yeah.
Is this a relative or a friend?
A friend of a friend.
Oh, so somebody you've met before?
Just the once.
I see. But you are going to pick up a gift from them.
Yes.
You must expect it to be a fine gift.
I expect it to be surprising.
Interesting. No. And you're from Mulbrook, are you?
No.
You traveled to Mulbrook to go to this gift.
Yes.
You're from England, I assume.
Yes.
Sure.
At this point, you see a familiar face enter the dining hall for walking in through one of the doors, broad-shouldered, large belly, Salvador Alston comes walking in. Pax, I'm going to need you to roll blend. We'll put it at a -3 because you're sitting with Kinsey and Roland.
I have 2 hits, 8 high.
You are up against a 5 right now. So he glances towards the table, sees Roland and Kinsey talking to somebody. Roland and Kinsey, you see him kind of mark you and like glances at the person you're talking to a little suspiciously. And then goes and starts like filling up his tray.
Kinsey kind of does like a little almost half wave and then puts his hand down and he says, I'm sorry, are we supposed to know him or not know him?
I suspect he'd rather we not speak to him.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Are you fighting with that man?
No, I must say, this conversation, Rachel, has been an absolute gift. But I must unfortunately excuse myself for a moment. He's a business acquaintance of ours, and I suspect I may need to smooth some things over. If you would excuse me.
Of course.
And as you go, you hear Kinsey go, so tell me more about this gift.
Salvador is making his way out of the dining hall as you approach him, Roland. He glances at you. He's got like a tray. It seems like he's going to be taking it back to his cabin. And he looks at you and he goes, walk and talk?
Sure.
All right, let's go. And he goes walking down the hall and he goes, so, who's your new friend?
Oh, you told me to keep a minimum of hijinks and shenanigans, and so I am simply enjoying this riverboat cruise you have so graciously paid for.
Right. Who's the dame?
Her name's Rachel, if you must know, and, who's to say where today might lead? Just, enjoying my free time, Salvador. You told me to just relax and let this cruise go on uneventfully.
Go ahead and roll manipulate as you guys approach his cabin, which is much larger than yours.
I don't know why you felt the need to say that in such a pointed way.
Because you notice it. He opens up the door and you see it's like a nice like little, it's got like a full bed and like a little window that looks outside with like curtains.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you are up against. He can't roll well against you. He's got a 6.
Oh no, I've got 4 net hits over a 6.
He turns back to you, puts a finger in your chest, and says pointedly, don't go breaking any hearts, Romeo. All right? You string that woman along. She's got friends on the shoreline. That's trouble for us, right? You're not here to keep a low profile and not make enemies. Romance makes an enemy of everyone.
Right. I'll just be the shady fellow hanging out on this riverboat, talking to no one, doing nothing, and just keeping to my room that seems somewhat suspicious when someone asks, "Now, do you remember anyone who was out of place on the riverboat cruise? Anyone who didn't seem to belong?" I'm blending in. That's what you wanted.
To a point. To a point. All right? You had your nice chat with the lady. Excuse yourself to the best of your ability. Don't talk to her for the rest of the trip.
Fine. Fine. You win.
Yeah, I've met men like you before.
No, you haven't.
Solid. Solid.
He shuts the door. You're gonna have a grip for that sick one-liner. Okay. So, Kinsey and fake Rachel, do you guys continue to hang out, or do you end up separating?
That's up to Kinsey.
Kinsey can hang out. He's a hangout.
Can I give him a grit for that?
Yeah, as long as the conversation is going, Kinsey is going to stick at the table, perhaps get another plate of food.
Yeah.
Could I get anything for you?
I appreciate that. I'm still working on my first plate.
Slow eater, I see. Sure. Yes, go ahead.
So eventually, like, you do eat your fill. Roland, do you return to them, or do you go elsewhere?
I suppose I'll just sort of mingle around the casino.
Okay. So you can go and roll blend, hanging out at the casino. Eventually, Kinsey and fake Rachel, you're able to eat to your heart's content. Probably like packs before Kinsey. It feels like Kinsey's got a bottomless pit in his stomach. And yeah. So, what do the two of you do after that? Do you continue to spend time together? Or do you go your separate ways?
Do you like games of chance?
I've been known to bet a spur or two if there's a game interesting enough.
Would you like to come to the casino?
Oh, I would. Please lead the way.
All right. Roland, what did you get on your blend?
I got 2 hits.
Okay.
But I also did sort of had one tiny small agenda while I was in the casino.
What's
A
that?
scheme.
It's not a scheme. So here's the thing. If you play blackjack, you can count cards. If you play poker, you can read a man across from you. There's a lot of casino games that have these elements of chance that a man of my skills can sort of eliminate, and it's not really as fun. It's just work at that point. But there's one game that no one really understands. That there's just nothing to do. And that's craps. You just roll dice. You roll dice and someone tells you if you've won money.
Okay. So you're going to go play some craps.
I'm going to play craps.
Perfect. All right. So you go play some craps. You're doing your best not to know. You're rolling dice. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You're also just like by virtue of being able, like, you get a drink and like you're kind of you got that stamp that says you eat and drink for free today. So you're drinking and playing games. Well, go ahead and roll. I suppose with roll a d20 for me.
10.
Okay, you are doing very middling. Not winning a bunch of money, not losing a bunch of money. It's just kind of you're playing craps, and you're able to continue playing craps.
This is great.
Though you do notice off to the side there is a table where people are playing poker, and as you're playing craps, you're able to see some people cycle in and out of that table. Well, one person remains the same. He's got dark hair, dark skin, very well dressed. He's smoking a large cigar. He's relatively short. You'd say like 5'6" or 5. Frame. He's playing cards and seems to be winning everyone's money. He's got stacks and stacks of chips, and he seems to be goading people into playing him, and then ruffling their feathers as he plays with them and like getting them on tilt, and then they lose to him. And there's one person who tries to who gets the one thing that catches your eye as you're playing craps is there's a guy who loses to him and gets like kind of upset and like stands up and says something to him along the lines of he's got to watch his mouth, and he pulls back, like the guy who's angry pulls back like his jacket. He's got a gun on his hip, which you notice around. You're able to spot like members of the staff are like already like starting to move in on that. And this well-dressed man grins casually, leans in, and says one thing, says a very short phrase in the guy's ear, which makes his face like fall pallid, and then he leans back and goes, "I don't want no trouble," and he goes walking off, and the pit crew kind of move off away from him.
Gathering information isn't a scheme, okay? I don't think anyone could argue against that.
Roland's he can't help himself on this boat.
And now I must play poker. Tommy, you've done it. I must play poker now.
Okay, so you move in. He is at a high stakes table, so the buy-in is 10 spurs.
Oh no. Can I try and win 2 more spurs at craps first? I know the answer to that is no. You can't try and do anything at craps.
Lucky for you, I rolled a 6. So yeah, you win 2 more spurs at craps.
Great. I'll put down all 10 of my spurs.
All right, they quickly move that into a lockbox and then replace them with chips.
Right.
And you start poker with this man and a couple others who have sat down. We'll come back to that in a minute. Kinsey and not Rachel. You are able to enter. You see Roland is sitting across the table from a man with a very large stack of chips, who is very boisterously talking. You don't see any other familiar faces around at the moment. It's still like midday at the latest. What do the two of you get into?
What's your game of preference?
Anything.
All right. Well, I suppose I'd need chips to play for anything. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll
your
trade
spurs can be turned into chips. So.
Yes, well, I'll trade in 10 spurs worth and get 10 spurs worth of chips.
All right.
Ready.
I'll change over some spurs. I have 4 spurs. I will change 3 of them into chips.
Okay. And what do you guys go play poker? Do you avoid Roland? Do you play what do you get into?
Is there a roulette table nearby Roland's poker table?
Yes, absolutely.
It's not how about a little roulette? Nothing too high stakes about that, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Seems good.
Okay, so you move over to the roulette table. Roland, this man, he is chatting with everyone who he's in a hand with, needling them every once in a while and like laughing about it. He's like, well, I surely don't have anything under here. You better go ahead and call that raise. Like taking a big puff of his cigar, and they call and he's like, I like the cut of your jib. 4 aces. And and then like they get like angry at him, and then a little bit later he's playing like a hand with the same person. He goes, now of course you got to remember the last time we went up against each other, I was sitting here with the 4 aces. Ah, what are the chances I could have you beat a second time? and and they call his bet, and again he flips over a better hand than they do, and then eventually like that like repeats a couple times, and then like when they finally fold, he reveals that he was bluffing that time, and they get really angry, and then he just keeps like he's able to read everyone at the table well, and like able to needle each one of them. How much do you engage with him, or are you just here to observe?
Enough to not seem weird.
Sure, but you're not like trying to make a move at him.
No, I'm fascinated by this man.
Yeah. So he does like you're able to, without a roll, notice he notices that you're kind of dodging around him. Not like completely avoiding playing against him, but he can tell you're playing conservatively. And he turns to you and he goes, "Friend, did you come to play cards or did you come to just watch?"
I've come to play cards, I think.
Well, let's go ahead and make it interesting. I will bet 3 spurs blind.
You know what? Sure. 3 spurs blind.
All right. Go ahead and since you have playing the player, you can roll manipulate to try to get a read on him as you play a hand of cards against this man. You are up against a 13.
I've no net hits over 13.
What's your highest?
A 9.
Okay, so you're able to eliminate a couple of his. So you actually end up just losing, we'll say 4 spurs.
Sure.
You're able to kind of weaken the bets a little bit, but all the while he's talking to you, trying to be like, now, friend, what brings you to the boat? I don't recall seeing you the past few nights here at the poker table. You must have gotten on at Moorbank.
Yes, I did actually. Just a quick jaunt down the way,
Well, I hope to see you around these. As he's like winning your money, he goes, "Well, I hope to see you around these tables more often." Francis Calderon, pleasure to meet you.
Hollis, happy to meet you.
Now, all of you can take a lesson from him. He knew when he was beaten. He went ahead and he didn't have a surplus of pride. He eased those bets in nice and soft so that he could not lose all of his money in one go. Smart man. Did you say your name was Roland?
I said Hollis.
Hollis. Smart man, this Hollis. You are welcome at my table anytime.
Well, that's just great. He said Francis?
Francis Calderon.
That's wonderful, Francis. Shall we go again? What do you say? I rather enjoyed that. I'll my stack is much smaller than yours, so just 2 spurs this time. Totally blind.
2 spurs blind. Now this man starting to grow a bit of a spine, thinking he might have a lucky chance the second time. I have a confession to make to you, old Hollis. Ain't no such thing as luck at this table.
No, I imagine not.
And yeah, you can go ahead and roll manipulate another time up against him.
Okay, that's a better roll. It's a better roll, It depends on whether or not I've done some things over this session to hit some advancement triggers and maybe earn some grit.
Do we need to review advancement triggers really quick?
Sure, I think here I've pushed my luck despite a clear and present chance of failure.
Yes.
I think I've talked Salvador out of conflict with me.
Yes.
I think I've tricked Kinsey into a disadvantageous position.
Yes.
And I think I've obtained a well-repaired gun using only words as my currency.
Yeah, sure. All right, so you've got all 4 of yours throughout the session, which does get you a grit because you got 2 of them.
Great. Which means I immediately spend it to play to the gallery.
All right. What is your highest?
My highest is a 14.
Oh, interesting. Fantastic. Take grit back.
Okay.
And-
sorry. Hold on. Am I dressed to impress?
No, because your armor's still beat up a little bit, so
Okay, sure,
he's not
yes.
impressed by you.
Okay.
So by spending grit, he also gets a 14. But you are clearly the aggressor in this moment because he was needling you and then you came at him. So how many net successes is that?
It's just the 114.
Okay. You play a little bit, and then he sits there for a second, and you're pretty sure you have him beat, and he's like reading you a little longer than usual. He moves his cigar over to the other hand, and he looks. He glances at one of his cards again, slaps it down, looks at the table, looks at you, and he goes, "I will call." And that was the wrong call. He does lose to you, so you earn 4 spurs back.
Great.
And he
As he loses, I will say, maybe there is something. Just a little bit of luck here, after all.
he leans back a little bit and he goes, "All right. Finally. Been on this boat for almost a month now, and finally I find a poker player." He's like, "Deal him out again, Billy."
Of course. The game's just started, really.
Yeah, and he seems impressed with you, and everyone else is like, "Oh." All right. Kinsey and not Rachel are the 2 of you trying to win a bunch of money, or are you just kind of playing for fun?
I'd like to not lose all my money, if that's at all possible.
That sounds like playing for fun, if you're just concerned about not losing your money. Yeah, so I'm not going to make you roll for that. You can play conservatively enough and hedge your bets enough to be able to maintain your status quo with your spurs.
I don't mind trying to win a couple of spurs.
All right. You managed to break even.
Lose anything? That's not bad.
You don't lose anything. You try to win a couple spurs, and you do for a little bit, but then you lose a little bit, and then it ends up being at the end of a period of time, you've run dry.
Well,
we're breaking. Roland, you're waiting for moments that you can move against Francis. Francis seems to be waiting for moments that he can move against you. Basically, the 2 of you are just kind of messing with the other people, and every once in a while you go up against each other, but the stacks go up, the stacks go down, they stay about the same. He still lording over you completely, but you're still able to stay in the game. As the afternoon rolls on, Pax, you notice the doors open up and in walks Marshal Donna Kane. She walks in.
I think I involuntarily grab Kinsey's forearm.
Oh, well.
Oh,
A little bit forward, but...
so I apologize.
Oh, no. That's absolutely fine. No worries. Are you all right?
Yes. I am gonna leave. Thank you for the presentation.
Oh, thank you.
And just gonna. It's not you. I just I have to go.
As well. Enjoy the rest of your ride.
You too.
Yeah, yes. Pleasant.
I'm sure I'll see you around.
She walks away. Kinsey says, "There's something very familiar about that awkwardness."
As you're rushing out, Pax, you do notice that the marshal seems to be a lot more in control of her faculties. She's relatively poised, seems coordinated. Seems like she's slept it off pretty decently. Little hungover looking for sure, but able, like not super drunk.
Yeah, I'd like to go to if at all possible, like the bar or like an area where I can look in a mirror and like see what's going on behind me until there's an appropriate time to just casually move on and or stop Roland from getting into trouble.
Go ahead and roll blend.
Okay.
I mean, she's moving towards the bar.
Sure. Yeah, no. I want to go to not where she is, but
Sure.
also have a view of the rest of the room.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay, well. Oh no, die, come back. Oh.
It didn't.
I have a reliability. That's not great. Well, it's an 11 high.
Okay. And how many successes?
1 success.
Okay. You're able to, like, she doesn't seem to notice you in any particular way. You're able to keep an eye on her. She does move to the bar. She orders a tall drink full of red juice and begins drinking it and sitting down and kind of surveying the room. Her eyes just glance right over you. And you have, the ability to move around the room seemingly without anyone marking your movement.
Great. That's all I want.
And do you try to leave or do you go to Roland?
I don't think I do anything yet.
You're just trying to observe from the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think that Kinsey's going to wander up to the poker table.
Okay. There's a seat if you want to take it.
All right. We'll take it and Roland to say, "Well, hello, stranger."
Fancy meeting you here.
Yes, isn't it? Well, quite a chance. And hello to you, sir, he says to the well-dressed gentleman.
Hello, a friend of Hollis is a friend of mine. Francis Calderon, pleasure to meet you.
Kinsey McCharlotte, pleasure's all mine.
Y'all ain't about to try and run a grift on me, are you?
Oh, absolutely not. Don't you worry. At the table, there are no friends.
It's true. I've won more than my fair amount of spurs from this one over here.
I convincingly sell that lie.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and you guys can. How long do you guys want to play with Francis Calderon? What's your angle here?
I would at some point, probably after Kinsey's lost some money, just try to make something happen, because I'm aware that the amount of spurs in my pocket is somewhat irrelevant to many of my goals. And at a point where he seems confident that he's got me beat, I would like to go all in and just confuse the hell out of him, because I'm interested to see what happens.
Okay. Go ahead and roll manipulate. We'll put you at a -2.
Okay, but I do want to wait until Kinsey's lost some money.
Kinsey, do you lose some money?
Oh, I absolutely do. He's a much better poker player.
All right, come on, guys. Just let me learn something. am I. They want me to learn something, Tommy. They want me to learn something indeed.
So you are up against an 11.
Tommy, I have 3 11s.
That eliminates both of his 11s. And you get 3 net successes. So yeah, he's pulled some money off of Kinsey. And he's chatting with the both of you. It's just the 3 of you now. The sun is starting to get a little lower in the sky. He leans back, and like he's very, very casual at this moment. And then right at the beginning of the hand, you're like, I'm all in. And he looks up, looks around like you missed something, looks at you again, like he wasn't ready for you to make this move at this moment. You caught him with his guard down a little bit, and he's like, and he looks at his cards, looks at you, and he spends a little bit of time reading. Kinsey, I'm sure you're I'm out. And then it's just between Francis and Roland, and he's looking at you, Roland. And he goes, "That's an awful strong move you made there, Hollis."
I suppose it is, isn't it? I wonder why I would have done that.
It is confounding.
I'm sure you can figure it out.
I might be tempted to call that bet, just to learn a thing about you.
Huh.
So what's that? That's 12 spurs there? I'll match 12 spurs.
Great.
But to do so, I'd like to know your real name.
Sure. It's Roland Hollis.
He slides in his 12 spurs. You guys flip cards and you got him beat. And he just smiles at that. You earn 12 spurs. And he smiles at that, and then he goes, Vanessa, count up my chips, have them taken to my cabin. I need to buy this man a drink.
Please. It's on me.
And he stands up, looks at you, Kinsey, and he goes, well, come on then. Friends of friends.
Thank you very much.
And he starts leading you over to the bar. And as you get to the bar, you see there's a sign nearby the bar over one of the doorways that says hope to see you again in the Calderon room.
Nice.
And that's where we'll end the session.
I'm just going to write down 24 spurs.
And I'm going to say Kinsey lost 4 spurs.
You both can have a grit. And yeah, Pax, you can have a grit for just an extremely entertaining course of action. You're gonna tell him eventually, and it's nah, just don't, just hang out with kids. You just keep hanging out.
There was never a good time. It just never came up.
It never came up. I don't know what you wanted to say.
All right. So we know we got 4 XP from Roland. Did anyone else hit any triggers?
Triggers.
I think an open fight was avoided through underhanded means when that guy put that challenge out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I might have taken something I don't want, but I want but don't deserve, which is Kinsey's attention.
You want
Sure.
my attention? You want Kinsey's attention? What? Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm always getting away with breaking the law, but I don't think I did it specifically this time. Yeah.
But you do get an XP because you hit 2. Or sorry, a
grit.
grit.
Oh man, is that the system now? You gotta
Nope.
tell me if that's the system
Nope.
now.
So we're sitting at 6. Nothing from you, Kinsey?
I actually do have one. I do believe that Roland's patience was rewarded at the poker table.
Sure was.
But none of my other ones were hit. I did not show someone how to survive, didn't utilize the trap successfully, and I didn't sell any of my animal parts.
Hold on.
Do you
It's
have
not-
to do
A
the
trap
trap?
was utilized successfully.
Oh,
I did a
you're
trap
right.
on that guy.
Yeah.
You're right. You trapped the guy, and it was utilized successfully. That's true. Well done.
Yeah. There you go. So that's 2. That's 2 for
That's
you. So that gets you a grit, Kinsey. You guys
Do you
have
have
8
to
XP.
teach someone how to survive in the wild, or does someone have to be taught how to survive in the wild? 'Cause
Someone shown.
I learned a lot about guns.
Yeah, but that's not surviving in the wild. That
It feels pretty integral.
It's a part of, but it's also guns is guns.
Fine.
They're not inherent to the wild. All right, cool. So that's 8 XP for everybody.
Great.
So
Sweet.
that puts us at 42?
43.
3?
Cool.
Not quite level 6, which is actually impossible to reach with only 3 players at our current XP.
Well, you guys made a pretty decent amount of the way there. So, yeah. Now you guys are on this riverboat. Pax is thoroughly disguised. Make sure you write down your disguise, Pax, so we don't forget it.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was fun. Thanks, guys.
That was fun.
I don't think we actually received any questions for this episode via the Kickstarter exclusive Discord. So if anyone who's in the chat right now wants to shoot any questions our way, questions about this session, questions about the players, questions about the characters, questions about the game, would be the time. So put them in, and we'll see them. Meanwhile, we did have no audio at the beginning, which means we did miss our announcements at the beginning of this. So, Addie, if you want to go ahead and recount those announcements while anyone in the chat who has a question can post their questions.
Sure. So we have just a few announcements. We have tomorrow, we have the first episode of Building Character with me. We delayed it last week due to some technical issues. So tomorrow at 8, me as I build a ranger from 5th edition and try to make it work. It's going to be really exciting. And then on Friday, we have the second episode of GM Styles, also with me, Addie Gia, your favorite Addie Gia. So join us at 8 p.m. on Friday. I'm also in negotiations for a cool, fun special guest. So I will be tweeting that probably Friday afternoon. Fingers crossed, I'll know by then. And then, if you have any questions for me, I've already got a stockpile of them, but if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, you can join us live and ask them then, or you can send them ahead of time with the hashtag Dear Addie. And I check that on Twitter and Instagram, I guess I could, and Facebook. So I will check those 3 places. Send them at me. And also, while you're here, hit that notification button. Yep, that way.
You did it, Tommy.
I'm never going to forget. It's right there
And,
until Addie changes the layout.
And
You can't.
also,
It's always to your left.
and also subscribe. We are expecting to become Twitch affiliates soon, so make sure that you hit those buttons so you can follow us as we grow on our journey through the Twitch landscape. It's pretty exciting.
All right. Did anyone end up having any questions in the chat, or is that tonight?
That is it.
All right. Sweet. Thank you guys so much. We will be here again next week, same day, same time, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Let's see what happens to these 3 on this riverboat.
No schemes.
One
Until
thing's
next
for
time.
sure. No scheme.
Bye.
Bye.